This is the Twosun ts263. It is a titanium frame lock with micarta inlays. It is a front flipper with 14C28 in steel, and it is gorgeous. I absolutely love this thing so far. I've only had it for a couple of days. First thing I noticed when I picked it up was how light it was. They have done a ton of milling here. Obviously, they've got these speed holes here in the clip, and then also they've done internal milling here in the titanium underneath her, on the inside of the scales. And obviously they've done a lot of milling on the titanium here to fit the micarta in, so that reduces the weight. So this is a big knife, but it is not heavy by any means. If I had a scale, I'd tell you the exact weight, but I can guarantee you it's definitely not more than 5 ounces. I'd say it's probably about 4.5 ounces. And that's really light for a knife that has a 3.7-inch blade. I think it's 3.7. Here, let's go ahead and try to measure this. Got my bootleg little setup here. You can see we are pretty close there. You can see the edge of the blade is, about 3.5 is where the handle hits, and you got a little bit more down there. But yeah, it's a big knife. It's a hair over 8 inches. We do a size comparison. Let's get that out of here. Got a couple knives here that really aren't super popular. I wouldn't say super mainstream, but it's bigger than the Concept Warrior. I noticed that it actually has the same size blade as the Hoback Quebec, but it's actually got a much shorter handle, so it's got a much better blade to handle ratio than most knives do. Let's see. Here's a Mass Drop Thresher. It's a more popular knife, a lot of people know. You can see it's slightly bigger than the Thresher. It's got a longer blade and almost the same size handle. I'd say it's pretty close. But yeah, it's got fantastic action as well. The front flipping works great. I've had several of Twosun's front flippers, and they all work pretty good, but this one I think is probably the best so far. You really just have to catch that corner right there, and it flies open. And boy, is it smooth. I mean, you just give it the smallest little shake, and it drops all the way. And honestly, if you loosen the pivot just a little bit, it'll drop a lot faster on its own. I've just got the pivot tightened up to where I like it. But you can see it's got very smooth action. And you see it's got writing here around the pivot. It says Twosun Knives made in Ying. I'm not going to try to say that. Somewhere in China. And it's got the same writing on the opposite side too. I believe that's a T8 there. And I believe these are also T8s. The lock bar insert is a T6, but everywhere else is a T8, which is nice because, as you may know, T6s do strip out fairly easily if you're not careful. As you can see, the lockup is perfect. It's right where you want it, not too early, not too late. And the centering is spot on as well, something that Twosun does very well. Fit and finish, centering, all that lockup. I've never had a problem with any of my Twosuns. As you can see, it is a very nice looking knife. And boy, this edge is extremely sharp. I wish I had some paper here or someone to hold my phone so that I could do a cut test for you, but just take my word for it. It is extremely sharp. It'll slice right through hair, paper, whatever you need it to. Yeah, I only paid $65 for this on eBay. It took about 3 weeks to come to ship, even with how backed up they are. And yeah, $65 for this knife isn't bad at all. When it was first released, they were going for a lot more, but after people started getting their hands on them, and I guess all the YouTubers stopped driving the price up, us normal folks were able to get their hands on it relatively cheap. $65 is a steal for this knife. I mean, I literally have knives that are $200 that don't have fit and finish as good as this, and action as good as this. If they put M390 steel on it, gosh, this thing would be a 10 out of 10. Even with this steel here at $65, it's freaking amazing. And you see, I mean, just everything about this knife, I honestly can't see one thing that I would change about it. I'm saying I can't think of one thing I would change about it. It's pretty freaking perfect. Beautiful, functional, lightweight, carries well, sharp sell, great action. All the things you want in a knife. The Twosun ts263. Pick them up on eBay.